Among the billions of races in the universe, I chose to become the Amorph, a hostile alien creature, because this race can grow stronger through devouring and evolution, eventually reaching a point where they can swallow an entire planet in one bite. But despite being so powerful, this race has the lowest online rate among all races. Simply because of morphs are extremely fragile when first born. They can only kill a cockroach through sneak attacks. Looking at the values that are close to zero before my eyes, I rubbed my eyes in disbelief, thinking I must have seen it wrong. These stats are pathetically low. It would take forever to grow into a true overlord, but worrying about it now won't help. Just as I closed the information window, I experienced my first molt. After molting, I felt completely drained. I needed to replenish my energy quickly, so I could only sneak into an empty warehouse, because if I crawled out to look for food outside, others could easily crush me underfoot like a dried scorpion. So I activated the hypersensitives unique to Amorphs and quickly found a container filled with food. But I didn't expect it to be password protected, which made things difficult. Then I directly entered 1234. In the next instant, the warehouse door opened. Looks like I'm incredibly lucky to have guessed it right. How many people would actually use such a password? Just as I finished eating a piece of chocolate, I noticed a cockroach passing by behind me. So I seized the moment when it wasn't paying attention and launched my lightning 5-hit combo, precisely subduing it. At this moment, I was curious about what a cockroach would taste like in a morph's mouth. So I swallowed it in one bite, crispy and crunchy with a chicken-like flavor. At the same time, an information window suddenly appeared. Congratulations on triggering the predator effect. Successfully extracting cockroach wings. Do you choose to apply? I didn't expect to obtain genetic fragments so quickly. You have to know the trigger probability for this is very low. Because genetic fragments are the core of a morph, they can only become stronger through constant devouring. So I immediately pressed the confirm button. Then 2 bulges protruded directly from my back, and a pair of wings instantly grew out. Looking at this pair of grey wings, I was quite satisfied. After all, this was an invaluable life-saving measure. But how to take flight puzzled me. So I imagined them as part of my body, using my brain to control the wing muscles. The next second, I was airborne. But flying for just a short while made me break out in a cold sweat. The energy consumption of flight was much greater than I'd imagined. After replenishing myself with a few bites, I set my sights on the cockroaches because they tasted much better than that waxy chocolate. So the cockroaches entered their hunting hour. Before I knew it, I'd eaten 20 of them. But this time, I didn't obtain any cockroach genetic fragments. The exoskeleton can only be improved through leveling up. The reason I ate so many cockroaches was to obtain their tenacious vitality. While there's still no one patrolling here, I need to eat a few more quickly. So in the following time, I completely transformed into the natural enemy of cockroaches. With flight ability, I quickly located the cockroaches' positions, scaring the remaining cockroaches so much they would run at the sight of me. But trying to slip away under the nose of me, the ultimate Amorph, isn't that easy. This time, I was careless and didn't dodge the obstacle, making my bald head become prominently horned. Don't think hiding inside makes you safe. I directly launched my tail stinger toward the cockroach. Let's see where you run this time. As I swallowed the cockroach, the information window appeared again. Predator effect triggered, successfully obtained cockroach tenacious vitality fragment. Do you choose to apply? So I chose without hesitation. Then my muscles and bones grew outward rapidly, looking much stronger than before. At the same time, I heard human voices coming from outside the warehouse. As a morph, humans and I are in an adversarial relationship. I need to become powerful before humans discover me. So I can't limit myself to just this warehouse. Then I crawled through the ventilation shaft into the pipeline, through which I could reach the adjacent experimental cabin. There are relatively fewer people there, and if discovered, it would be easier to escape by destroying the equipment inside. Just as I climbed into the ventilation duct, the exhaust fan inside suddenly started up. Damn it. This makes things difficult. So I could only carefully remove the exhaust fan's outer shell. If I damaged the ventilation system, the AI would definitely report to the humans, and then attracting humans would be troublesome. Now it's time to rely on my shape-shifting ability. Iron oxide and tin metal dust mixed together in the air can make the fan blade slow down slightly at specific points. After my brain processed all the data, it told me jump now. So I concentrated all my strength into my wings and rushed toward the exhaust fan with full force. With just a ding sound, I successfully passed through the obstacle. This was truly risking my life. If I had been hit by the fan blades, I probably would have been missing limbs forever. I hope I won't encounter such things again. As I continued crawling, I heard human voices in the ventilation duct. From their conversation, I learned some information about experiments. Originally, I thought this was just an ordinary spaceship, but it seems to belong to a mega corporation. Megacorporations are prosperous human factions around the solar system, where countries are ruled not by governments, but by large corporations. Most of them are extreme materialists. Most human races in the game are neutral, but megacorporations lean more toward the evil alliance. They capture others for experiments. Looks like I need to be even more careful. Then, I secretly surveyed the laboratory, because what's inside might determine my future evolutionary path. If this is research on combat variant super soldiers, then I can gain a strong body and combat abilities. If it's the evil space elf race, I can gain powerful psychic abilities. Between these two abilities, I prefer psychic abilities, but these are just my speculations. At the same time, I heard a faint cry for help, which puzzled me. After searching around, I finally found its location. It was an amoeba. This struck me as very strange because amoebas are one of the most useless mutant beasts. Their only ability is storing oxygen. Then, I activated hypersensors and discovered it was currently being electrocuted. Could this be the experiment those two humans were talking about? So I pressed the release button. The amoeba thanked me for my help. Then, I heard human footsteps, so I immediately found a place to hide. As the cabin door slowly opened, a woman holding a black cat walked in. She seemed very dissatisfied with the man's experimental results. When the man heard about revoking his senior researcher status, he broke out in a cold sweat. If you can uncover talent from test subject number 26, then promotion to chief researcher would be secured. So the woman decided to have him use Salome on the test subject. It's an awakening drug manufactured by the Star Union. Hearing this, the man was somewhat resistant, but for the sake of his senior researcher position, he still chose to compromise. Then he injected 0.07 milligrams of Salome into the amoeba. But the woman felt this was far from enough. So she directly maxed out the dosage. As the drug was continuously injected, the amoeba let out painful wails. Seeing this, the woman showed a satisfied smile. Watching all this from a distance, I was startled. After the drug injection was complete, the amoeba changed from pink to gray, and its aura became very weak. The woman had the man stay to record data and then turned to leave. Suddenly, she looked up toward the experimental apparatus. But there was nothing there. Was she being overly cautious? This startled me. This woman isn't as simple as I thought. The scene shifted and I arrived at a place filled with pipes. Then I spat a mouthful of void venom toward the pipe connections. As the pipe spread my toxin throughout the entire warship, this ship now feels like an extension of my body. I can sense everyone's every move, even their whispered conversations. On the 4th day of becoming a morph, my nest was completed. And in the following days, I shuttled between it and the cargo hold, eating while catching cockroaches and spiders, while gathering important intelligence. I also learned some information about that woman. Kisaragi, the research team leader of this ship, although her body is frail, she is the most important person here and also a threat to my survival. 2 days ago, there was an accident. A test subject escaped. She made a tracking device within 2 hours and successfully recaptured the test subject. If that escaped guy had used the ventilation ducts, then I would be in danger too. The next instant, she looked toward the ventilation opening because she once again felt like she was being watched, but still saw nothing. Little did she know I was already trembling with fear. For a human, her perception is too acute. Could she have psychic abilities? It refers to those well-known superpowers like telepathy, mind control, etc. Humans occasionally gain such abilities too. But regardless of whether she has such abilities, there are always armed soldiers guarding her in a state of alert. How can I deal with her? At the same time, my level increased again. This time, I gained a paralytic venom, which for a weak creature like me is a decent life-saving measure. Because 1 drop can easily subdue an adult for 5 minutes. But to use the venom, I need a one-on-one situation. She has soldiers following her 24 hours a day, making it nearly impossible for me. Let me go out and relax for now. So I grabbed 2 pieces of chocolate and headed outside, then secretly came to the laboratory. After several days of recovery, the amoeba's condition was much better. Then I climbed onto the control panel and opened a window to crumble food into it, and the food flowed through the pipes and was gradually absorbed by it. The amoeba was very happy to receive food. Logically speaking, amoebas don't have any special abilities, but this one is unique. I wonder if its race has changed. At the same time, I remembered that Kisaragi often holds a black cat in her arms. She's very fond of this cat named Caesar. If her cat disappeared, would she expose her weakness? Soon, I followed the ventilation duct where it was located. I have to say this cat's treatment is very good. It even has its own private room. The ventilation duct entrance looks like there's nothing outside. But my super sensors show it as dense laser sensors. Even the slightest touch would immediately trigger the AI alarm. Damn it. After I angrily knocked on the floor, the black cat heard the collision sound, so it directly pounced toward the duct. But fortunately, there was still an iron grate blocking it. Within just a few breaths of it touching the iron grate, guards also rushed over, but saw nothing suspicious. When they saw it was the black cat, both were speechless as if they were already used to it. At this moment, I was startled. If those two had discovered me, I'd be finished. I almost got betrayed by my own tale. Coming back to my senses, I suddenly thought of something. From those people's reactions, it seems they can't do anything about this cat, even letting it run wild. If that's the case, I have a way to deal with it. The scene shifted to the next day. I made a slight noise at the ventilation opening and then turned to leave. When the black cat curiously went to investigate, it saw a cockroach inside. Seeing this, its eyes lit up, and it directly knocked open the iron grate. The soldiers didn't stop it when they saw this. They could only wait for it to run back before reinstalling the ventilation opening. Now, I just wait for the black cat to fall into the trap I've set. I placed a cockroach at regular intervals in the pipeline. As long as it follows this path here, I can make my move and keep it here. When the black cat crawled out from the ventilation opening, I directly launched a surprise attack on it. Under the paralysis of the toxin, the black cat quickly lost consciousness. The scene shifted to the other side. Kisaragi angrily came to the captain's office. The moment the captain saw her, he immediately sensed trouble. When will I see Caesar again? I haven't seen it for 2 hours. My Caesar strictly follows meal times. Something must have happened. Facing Kisaragi's pressure, the captain remained calm. Unless that cat hijacked a rescue ship and used it to escape. Otherwise, it must be somewhere on the ship, making such a fuss over a damn cat, being questioned by a team leader despite being the captain. This made him very angry. But he was helpless because she came from the nobility representing the capital. And at this moment, Kisaragi seemed to have gone mad, demanding the captain immediately dispose of the soldiers from earlier. This scared him into a cold sweat. The captain has the right to make summary judgments, exercise that right now. Her behavior also stunned the nearby researcher. The soldiers felt even more angry. So the captain could only agree to hold the trial after finding the cat. Hearing this, Kisaragi gradually calmed down, but she only gave the captain 2 hours. If you still can't find it after 2 hours, you can forget about being captain. After she left, the captain could only curse, "Where did that damn stinking cat run off to?" And I just smiled. Of course, it's in my belly. Just after I ate the black cat, I gained a special skill. Wild Instinct. This is a constitution I've never seen before. The Wild Instinct trait can merge with the existing Super Sensory trait. It merged with Super Sensory and evolved into Predator Instinct. This instinct can sense impending threats through current information. I also tried to activate this instinct but failed. This might be an automatically activated passive trait. Because no threats exist, it hasn't been activated. I'll have to study this slowly later. Now, let me see what she's doing. Soon, I arrived at the room where she was. Everything was as I expected. This type of person only shows humanity toward things they cherish. Then my second plan was also successfully completed, stirring up the relationship between her and the guards. Because the guards had a bad relationship with this cat from the beginning, the essence might be closer to anger toward class. Kisaragi comes from the highest echelons of the mega corporation, representing noble capital. Now that they have a rift, the soldiers definitely won't protect her like before. All credit for this goes to that kitty. At the same time, Kisaragi angrily came to the laboratory, venting her emotions on the test subjects inside. Just as she was about to leave, she noticed test subject number 26. She showed a creepy smile, continuously pressing the power button. Only after seeing it barely alive did she leave satisfied. This was something I didn't expect. My amoeba friend bore it all. But don't worry, soon I'll be able to help you get revenge. 2 hours passed and Kisaragi found the captain again. This time she was very angry, immediately wanting to remove him from his captain position. Are you defying the will of noble capital? I am the captain of this ship. Watch your words. Even noble capital cannot tolerate overstepping authority. I have the right to detain you. Hearing this, Kisaragi smiled contemptuously. The situation is getting more interesting. It seems there was already conflict between them before I started watching. At this moment, Kisaragi could only leave angrily. Just as she passed the restroom, she happened to want to go in and wash her face. And the two soldiers also wanted to take advantage of this gap to use the restroom. So I hurried to crawl toward the restroom's ventilation opening. This was a rare opportunity for me. Usually, one person must stay on guard when going to the restroom. But because of the rift, this time both guards went together. Plus, there were no security devices in the restroom to interfere with my actions. These were the best conditions for an ambush. When Kisaragi lowered her head to wash her face, I had already arrived behind her. Before she noticed, I slipped to the ceiling above. Suddenly, she sensed something was wrong. So she immediately turned around to look, but it was all too late. While crying out in alarm, Kisaragi dodged sideways to avoid my poison stinger. Damn it, she dodged. Then I struck again before she could land. As the toxin was injected, Kisaragi immediately foamed at the mouth and lost the ability to move. At this moment, I was curious about what she was feeling, fear at seeing the alien creature or anger at her current situation, or perhaps fear of death, but it's all over now. At the same time, a dialog box popped up. Evolution conditions have been met. Do you choose to evolve? Do I even need to ask? Of course, I'll evolve. Just as I was about to select confirm, a vision of me being shot flashed through my mind. This scared me into shivering. Was that vision the predator instinct? Damn it. I need to leave here immediately. Just then, I heard footsteps from outside. So I quickly climbed onto the wall to hide. When the soldiers saw Kisaragi, I jumped directly onto his back, swinging my poison stinger toward his weakest point. After doing this, I flew directly up to the ventilation opening and installed the iron grate. I must leave because his companion will discover this place soon. Soon, I returned to my nest. Now, I should be able to evolve without anyone disturbing me. Then I directly pressed the confirm button. What followed was countless tiny droplets of sweat. Just in the blink of an eye, they became the size of water drops. In no time, red viscous liquid completely enveloped me. My god, this evolution method is quite special. If I had memories from the fetal period, would it feel like this? This liquid is transforming me into a true morph. Although, I really want to open my eyes and see, can't move at the moment. I can only wait for the evolution to end. The scene shifted to the next day as the shell arrived. A black-purple amorph crawled out from inside. I finally passed through the hatchling period and truly took the first step. At the same time, the captain gathered all the main members because they discovered Kisaragi dead in the restroom. If they can't find the cause, presumably none of the people present will have a good outcome. Just then, the vice captain thought of a solution. We are now near planet C08, and this is space pirate territory. We framed the space pirates for this. The higher-ups will definitely have nothing to say. Space pirates are scoundrels who roam space attacking and plundering, also one of the mega corporation's mortal enemies. If we report being attacked by them, then we can cover up Kisaragi's death. The scene shifted. At this moment, I was experiencing my post-evolution body. Now, I'm a void larva. I should change my strategy. Previously, I had to avoid human sight just to survive. Since the survival problem is solved, it's time to consider the next step. Then I opened the attribute panel. The evolution position has been displayed once. Morphological evolution is divided into 6 stages with 5 evolutions total, starting with the initial hatchling period and the current larval period. Next comes the pupa period and pre-adult T period. Finally, the adult period. After growing to adult T period, I'll be a true morph. When a shapeshift arises in the game, all secrets about their origins are revealed. Where they come from, what they are, etc. So the possibility might be similar in reality. My identity will definitely be revealed then. But those are matters for later. Now let me see what types I've unlocked. As expected, physical enhancement types are almost all realized. Due to the strengthened exoskeleton and acidic blood trait gained when becoming a larva, the type is similar to other races' abilities, but slightly different. When conditions are met, this type unlocks related abilities to gain synergistic bonuses. But I find the second type very strange. I don't think I've eaten this type of creature. Could I have forgotten something? Soon, I remembered. It was that woman named Kisaragi. This must be because of her superpowers. Now, I must eat her to fill up the progress bar. Then, I reopened the ventilation duct. Now that my body has grown larger, the ventilation duct feels much narrower. Soon, I found her scent. Found you. At this moment, a red-haired man was wearing headphones listening to music. Just then, he smelled a strange odor. So he quickly got up to investigate. When he came to the room, he was startled by the scene before him. There was somehow a hole in the floor, as if something had corroded it. Just as he was thinking, little did he know danger was quietly approaching. Just as he turned around, I spring-launched to his front, hunting time. In less than an instant, the man was dealt with by me. Then I went directly to the cold storage room and pulled off the white cloth. Lying there was Kisaragi. Because she came from the noble capital, she remained intact even after death. They also wouldn't allow anyone to touch her body, but I can kill so ruthlessly without feeling any guilt. Could it be that I was already corrupted when I became a morph? Or was this ruthless, cruel guy the real me from the beginning? Forget it. Thinking about this won't solve any problems. So I swallowed the woman in one bite. Just then, I felt like there was something in my mouth. I don't know what this device is or what it's for. Could she have had heart disease? So I crushed the core without hesitation. Then the information window appeared. Predator effect triggered. Obtained mental organ genetic fragment. Do you choose to apply mental organ? As expected, just as I guessed, this guy had psychic abilities. Although this is an important mental organ, it doesn't seem very useful to me. Can't worry about that now. Let me fill up the progress bar first. Just after I pressed the confirm button, many tentacle-like hairs grew from the back of my neck. It seems like the predator instinct, another trait fusion that became useful. Then I turned my attention to the guard. Now is the growth stage, nothing can be wasted. Moments later, I sense the guard's movement outside. It seems they are changing shifts, which means this doctor will also change shifts. When another person comes here, they'll notice the changes in the room. Then when they discover this was a monster's doing, they'll definitely hunt me down. I don't yet have enough ability to engage in full combat with the crew. I need something to buy time until I become stronger. Just then, I noticed the black smoke from the corroded deck with corpse preservation chemicals nearby. I suddenly thought of an interesting idea. This might be a good way to get through the crisis and harass the crew. The scene shifted to the other side. An old man was happily farming on the land. Then two men in black came to his side. They were there to inform him of Kisaragi's death. When the man heard his third daughter was dead, he laughed loudly saying it was impossible. Seeing this, the butler nearby was already sweating profusely. However, the man in black said again it was true. The last signal came from near C08. Investigation shows this is space pirate territory. Before the man in black could finish, he was met with a heavy punch. After he fell, the man picked up a farming axe and swung it down at him. After this was done, several more men in black came and carried him away. This person was the leader of the Eugene family, one of the great families in the East Asian region of Earth Base. The reason he was so angry was because the cost of cultivating Kisaragi could buy an interstellar warship. Everyone related to that ship. I want them all to be buried with my daughter. The scene shifted to the other side when the ice room was discovered on fire. The bodies inside had already been burned beyond recognition. Everyone didn't know what was happening. I don't understand how there could be a fire when it's full of corpses. Suddenly, the medical team leader thought of something and urgently called the captain to hold an emergency meeting because this matter wasn't as simple as it appeared on the surface. When the captain learned that Kisaragi's body was missing, he immediately broke out in a cold sweat. I checked over and over. Definitely, 2 bodies are missing, considering the chemicals in the morgue could cause fire, but this situation is very rare. So the vice captain deduced it might be deliberate arson, but others thought it was the work of Amorph. However, the supply team leader reacted very strongly, directly denying his view. At this moment, the captain knew that if he couldn't think of a solution, everyone here would have to bear the nobility's wrath, and I was in the ventilation duct watching their every move. It seems my previous plan was flawless, a method to hide identity and confuse enemies. Who would think that mixing chemicals in the morgue would cause a fire? And I also added my corrosive solution. Thanks to this, things were handled well. But I didn't expect the Amorph topic to come up. Most importantly, they want to contact those space pirates. The captain must be crazy. This time, it's the risk management team leader taking the lead. I'll need to take care of him later. He might be colluding with pirates. Pirates are different races, so I can obtain different genes. But the genetic fragments I get from the research ship will decrease due to attacks. I need to see the pirates' level to make the right judgment. Just then, I noticed another person. He seems to be the supply management leader who just firmly denied my existence. He shouldn't have any relation to this matter, but why would he react like this? At the same time, the man carefully observed his surroundings, then secretly entered a warehouse. His behavior struck me as very strange. What secret is he hiding to have such a reaction? When I used hypersensitives, I couldn't penetrate this container. This made me even more certain he must be hiding something important. I originally planned to target the medical team leader, but I changed my mind. He's my next target. The scene shifted. The supply team leader came to the bar to drink away his sorrows because he believed the black market cultist dealer's words and smuggled an alien creature's egg. Unexpectedly, the second day after loading it into the container, the creature egg hatched. He didn't reveal this to anyone, but if the captain found out, he'd be dead. At this moment, he thought Kisaragi was eaten by that alien creature, so he was very troubled. After he finished drinking and wobbled back to his quarters, he always felt like something was watching him. But when he looked back, there was nothing. Damn it, could it be a hallucination? Just then he heard rustling sounds, then he saw half of the monster's body, and his alcohol instantly sobered up. He quickly turned and ran. Damn it. Soon he reached the cabin door, entering the password at a speed that broke human limits. After getting inside, he was tripped by a wine bottle from earlier. Just as he was about to call and report, rustling sounds came from outside the door again, along with the sound of entering a password. As the cabin door slowly opened, a black-purple morph appeared before him. At this moment, he was trembling with fear, unable even to scream. And I stepped forward and sniffed, "Brother, you smell so good." Just after I dealt with the supply team leader, I searched through his house. Judging from this guy's living environment, he's really lazy. Dirty socks almost thrown into bowls. The captain should thank me for helping him downsize. Looking at this messy floor, even I, a morph, think it's disgusting. After searching his entire room, I still couldn't find his work badge. Where did this guy hide such an important thing? Just then, I noticed the poster on the wall. She looks very sexy, but maybe because of my current state, I don't feel anything. How speechless. When I picked up the folder on the table, a card fell out. Great. Now I have everything. Time to leave. But before leaving, let me clean up this place. The scene shifted and I arrived at the container I couldn't sense before. Inserting the work badge plus fingerprint authentication, the heavy cabin door slowly opened. Let me see what's really hidden inside. Inside, I saw rows of freezers. Turns out this guy was a smuggler. Just then I noticed something nearby. One container was already damaged and the creature inside had escaped. This seems to be the egg I was born from. No wonder there was some familiar aura. In the game, a morph starting position isn't on spaceships. They come from a mysterious ruin. I don't know what happened during transport, but it looks like after hatching, the original morph escaped the container and died from lack of timely energy replenishment. Then my consciousness took control of this body. This explains why I found cockroaches so delicious. It was the body's survival instinct. After mourning the eggshell for 2.5 seconds, I turned my attention to the nearby freezers. Time to do some inhuman things. So I directly grabbed the remaining amorph eggs. Amorphs that hatch first will eat the other eggs. This is the amorph survival law, though unfortunately no predator instinct message popped up. I really have to thank nature's gifts. Then I looked at the remaining eggs. The remaining relatives naturally can't be spared either. Then the window popped up again. This time I gained a mimicry skill. Honestly, I was a bit disappointed after devouring Kisaragi. What I got wasn't psychic abilities, but a useless psychic organ. But thinking about the supply team leader giving me such a precious gift, there's nothing to be disappointed about. These skills might provide important help in the mid or late game, because I can mimic the characteristics of people I've previously devoured. With these abilities, I can move more freely. Now, there's not much time left before meeting the space pirates. I need to become as strong as possible because I don't know how dangerous they are. No one in the universe will hear screams in space. Cries will be completely buried in the dark abyss. The scene shifted to the warship's landing bay. At this moment, many people were repairing the fighter jets. However, they also weren't clear why the captain wanted to inspect these warships because they currently hadn't received any news about fighting. Precisely because of this, their speculations varied wildly. The most terrifying was that space monsters had entered the warship because many people had gone missing. Hearing the two people's conversation, the man nearby also chimed in. He'd also heard about the supply team leader's disappearance, but the blonde man didn't believe this was true. However, the other two still believed these views. This made the blonde man very angry, so he turned and left. The scene shifts to midnight. The two men are still repairing the fighter jet. Just then, the blonde man says he's going to get some drinks and turns to leave. Immediately after, the black-haired man hears the supply team leader's voice. Since he's alone, he has to stop what he's doing to go check. But when he comes outside, he sees nothing. Just then, the voice comes from the maintenance bay again. When he approaches to look inside, it's pitch black, which confuses him. But he still turns on his flashlight and walks in. Suddenly, a pungent smell hits his nose. It seems like the smell of rotting metal, but the voice keeps luring him forward. Suddenly, he trips over a screw and falls. Looking at the dark environment before him, he remembers the news about the supply team leader's disappearance. Could it really be a space monster? Unbeknownst to him, the alien creature has already appeared behind him. Before he can react, the alien creature grabs his head. I smell the scent of fear with a scream from the maintenance bay. The entire landing bay falls silent. When the blonde man returns with drinks, the black-haired man is nowhere to be seen. Suddenly, black-haired man's voice comes from nearby. Looking at the pitch-black maintenance bay confuses him, but the voice inside tells him to hurry in and move things. He doesn't think much and goes straight in. However, when he goes inside, he sees no one, only a flashlight dropped on the ground. Just as he crouches down to pick it up, he feels a thick liquid behind him. The next instant, countless red droplets fall. When he looks up, a ferocious alien is watching him from the ceiling. With a scream, the man's life ends. I have to say the mimicry skill is very useful. All this thanks to the creatures smuggled by the supply team leader, including larvae called red worms. Red worms are giant desert worms that only live on desert planets and have the ability to mimic other creatures' voices. Because of this, they can hunt even in harsh environments. Using red worm larvae and obtaining their gene fragments is like finding treasure for me. But the downside is it's a downgraded version compared to the original. I can only mimic the voice of the last creature I devoured. His name was Cameron Duncan. Tomorrow night, I'll mimic him. Then I opened the ventilation duct again because I wanna go see that amoeba. Calling it a amoeba feels strange. From now on, I'll call it number 26. Soon I reach above the laboratory, and now I can understand what it's saying. I didn't know the psychic organ could be used this way, allowing me to communicate with other creatures through brain waves. Then I respond to its words. Number 26 says it's very hungry now and needs food. Compared to before, its vocabulary has increased a lot. Then I directly apologize, I can't bring it food right now, because the laboratory has many guards watching. If I go down, might be discovered by them. Now, even the ventilation above is dangerous. All I can do is talk to you like this. Hearing my explanation, number 26 also shows understanding. Then it tells me to be careful and I turn to leave. Right now, can only pray it holds on. If I can evolve to the pupa stage, maybe I can save it. But the problem is, the pupa's evolution conditions are quite harsh. I need to devour 2 intelligent species and each species requires 10 individuals. This ship only has humans, so pupa evolution is impossible. Although there are pirates, I don't know much about them either. Just then, I hear the vice captain's voice. He seems to be communicating with some mysterious person. Suddenly, he seems to sense a hint of surveillance, but it's as if there's nothing there, making him suspicious. After listening to his conversation, I'm very surprised. I didn't expect him to be such a cunning fox. He wants to overthrow the captain, so he encouraged the captain to cooperate with the pirates. But from the phone call, it seems he has other plans. I need to wait and see if this is beneficial or harmful to me. The scene shifts to the other side. When the captain learns that someone else has been victimized, he's very angry. So far, 8 people on the ship have died, and I've been present at every one of their meetings. Right now, I'm in the ventilation duct above watching them and laughing secretly. They never expected the culprit is right here. Just then, the vice captain raises a question. Because there are many cameras in the ship's cabin, humans couldn't possibly hide so much. So there's only one possibility that an unknown space creature has appeared on the ship. Plus, the supply team leader's container was empty. So he's even more certain because they never searched the ventilation ducts from beginning to end. Maybe it's hiding up there watching us. Damn. This guy named Arnold. I should have taken him out earlier. After hearing his words, the captain also thinks it makes sense. So he immediately assigns him 8 men. Then I leave here directly. It seems this battle is unavoidable. With Arnold's personality, he'll definitely place security in the ducts. Now the ducts are also under their watch. Even if I leave my nest, I have nowhere to go. The hall has cameras. The ducts can't be used. The time has come to make an important decision. Let's fight. Even without limbs, I'll bite through the enemy's throat. Because I am a mighty void predator warrior. This time, I don't hold back and directly activate maximum hypersensitives, analyzing the structure of the warship, even the enemy's positions and movements. If I imagine this ship sailing in deep space as a living being, then right now, I'm like a parasite that has infected its brain because I know everything happening on the ship. The captain and other team leaders are gathered in the command room. Arnold should also be there commanding. I also discovered the movements of armed soldiers. As expected, they split personnel to enter from 2 locations. The plan's general outline is determined. I'll adjust details based on enemy weapons and actions. Now, let's see who's really the prey little lambs. Right now, the search team is split into 2 groups, 1 group of 3. Their actions are all arranged by the command room. Arnold is very surprised by the appearance of alien creatures because assassinating Kisaragi was originally his mission. But he's more worried that variables will affect his plan, so he must kill the monster. Right now, Team A's 3 members reach a fork in the road. Just then, a 3's radio shows some abnormalities. Arnold tells him to stop and fix it before continuing. Meanwhile, the communications officer discovers a 3's camera isn't moving. But after the commander's call, it returns to normal. While the other team B2 and B3 prepare to rendezvous. But just as the 2 successfully meet up, B2 lets out a scream. Arnold knows the monster has appeared. In just an instant, B2 loses contact with the command room. Things happen too fast for the control room to obtain any useful information. Only then does Arnold realize it seems we all underestimated it. A soldier wearing medium reinforced armor was taken out by it in one go. It's a monster much more agile than I imagined. So Arnold directly issues a kill order. No matter who hears a sound, shoot immediately. Then the communications officer tells B3 to go rendezvous with B1 because being alone makes it easy for the monster to ambush. But just as B1 and B3 meet up, B1 says he hears rustling sounds. He clearly feels something approaching. But soon he relaxes his guard because he hears B3's voice. Hearing this, Arnold breathes a sigh of relief. This is the control room. B1 and B3 report after connecting. Suddenly, a loud scream breaks the current silence. B1 discovers B3's body has been taken over by the alien creature. So Arnold immediately grabs the communicator to contact B1. Please explain the situation in detail immediately. However, the result is that nothing can be seen. This makes him curse directly. Damn it. He can't understand how they are so close, but can't see anything. This is very unreasonable. He carefully recalls neither B1 nor B3 appeared in the camera unless they deliberately avoided filming the monster. The next moment, he suddenly thinks of something. So he picks up the headset again to ask B1. This time, the captain requires him to state your name and rank. But B1 gives no response, so I stop pretending to. I immediately destroy the camera. When they see the monster's hand destroying the camera, they are stunned. They didn't expect B1 to be taken out right under their noses. And I first took care of Team B, and through wavelengths got hints from conversations with number 26, using wavelength interference to disrupt enemy communications as a tactical action. Because the wavelength I emit disrupted B3's equipment in the rear, so one of them had to leave the team to repair his equipment. I used the new fusion trait neurotoxin to incapacitate him. Then, I devoured him. Next, only Team A remains. Now, let me see where they are. Right now, they are in a state of high alert as expected. Because of Team B, they know nothing about me, so they were caught off guard. But Team A heard me mimicking human voices, so they'll be very vigilant. Maybe this time I should use their intelligence. There's a fork ahead in Team A's direction. They'll pass through here soon and I decide to ambush them here. Sometimes knowing too much is actually harmful. Moments later, Team A's members reach the fork, and the command room tells them to shoot immediately upon hearing other people's voices. Sure enough, a call comes from the corridor. Hearing this, the three don't hesitate and pull their triggers directly. Then the men finally see the monster's figure, so two go forward to check while leaving one behind to guard. Unbeknownst to them, I've already come behind the three through the ventilation. Right now, the three feel a chill on their backs, but when they turn around, they see nothing. However, I've already come in front of one person and taken him hostage. So he immediately tells the other two to open fire. After repeated requests, the two finally pull the trigger, and I can only turn and flee. Although this laser weapon isn't very powerful, it still scratched my skin. Then I use the corner to shake off the two. Watching number 3 about to go into shock with no way to help, number 1 is very angry. Damn monster, when I catch you, I'll tear off your limbs. Meanwhile, the two notice the monster's blood on the ground. They've never seen blood with such strong corrosive properties. As the two advance, they come to a lower pipe. So a 1 request injection of enhancement drugs. With the injection of the solution, a 1 strength increases several times. He swears he'll definitely kill the monster with his own hands. Soon the two discover a huge opening. Seeing this, they guess the monster has escaped to the corridor. Then they report the situation to the command room. Unbeknownst to them, this is just my diversionary tactic. When the two aren't paying attention, I launch a direct assault, braving gunfire, take down one. The other seeing this also fires at me with full force. But I use the other person directly as a human shield. At the same time, I whip out my tail stinger. But it gets knocked away by his punch. Seeing this close-range fist, I immediately choose to dodge sideways. Fortunately, my speed is fast enough to avoid damage. So I choose the 36 stratagems. Retreat is the best policy. Seeing the monster escape before his eyes is very angry. And I also follow the pipe to a safe place. They are stronger than I imagined. I might need to adjust my strategy. I can't use small tricks to fool them anymore. I need to think of another way. Soon, I think of one. How could I forget about him? Right now, a 3 is lying in the pipe barely alive. After observing him once, I charge directly at him. Right now, strong acidic gas emanates from my mouth. A 3 is terrified seeing my appearance. I don't hesitate and directly end his life because I want to use him here to wait for prey. This is the control room. A 3 has been attacked by the monster. Repeat. A 3 has been attacked by the monster. A 1 finally walks back to a 3's position, only to see him covered in blood. So he puts down his laser gun to treat a 3. But suddenly, a tail stinger pierces directly through his chest. Only then does he realize he's been tricked. He never expected an alien creature to have such high intelligence. Now it's too late to escape. I crawl out directly from the armor. My carefully laid plan wasn't in vain. You smell better than other prey. I'll definitely savor you slowly. Seeing this scene, the people in the command room are scared witless. They realize these people can't harm the alien creature. After devouring the last soldier, I'm thinking about the next countermeasures. After receiving my warning, they'll attack with full force. I know this ship lacks enhancement devices. But the problem is the equipment they have. If they brought plasma launchers, I'd be in great danger. Plasma equipment is high-energy weapons for fleet combat, mainly used to destroy warships and tanks. But they are big and heavy. One person can't carry them. Although there are lightweight versions, they are ridiculously expensive. So the best are medium-weight plasma launchers. I've seen this ship's army. Whether they have equipment is questionable. And right now, I see many soldiers moving toward where I was earlier. They should be preparing to surround me, but for me is an opportunity because I can do the opposite. While the enemy is looking in the wrong place, I directly assault their headquarters. Most importantly, I must avow that Arnold is a huge threat to me. Soon, I reach above the command room. Right now, they are arguing heatedly about the squad incident. And I'm celebrating that they didn't spend money upgrading equipment, otherwise, I'd be in trouble. Just then, Arnold applies to the captain to use plasma launchers. But before the captain can refuse, other team leaders object. Because using such things in the ship's cabin is tantamount to digging one's own grave. Now I know they really have them. Seeing the chaos below, this is a good opportunity for me to act. Although I really want to eliminate Arnold, his position is too far for me. I must choose a different target. Soon I find the first unlucky guy. The person who tortured number 26 with drugs that day. I've decided the target is you. Then I punch through the iron grating. The abyssal maw lunges directly at that researcher. Feeding time has arrived. With my bite, the researcher dies horribly in front of everyone. Then I turn my gaze to several people nearby. In just the blink of an eye, I take out 2. The remaining people scramble to escape, and the communications officer is calling for squads to return for support. But the next instant, he dies suddenly. Just then, several bullets hit my body. This confuses me. This guy actually didn't run away. His handgun can't hurt me at all. Does he have some hidden weapon? Just as I'm about to act, an image of me being shot dead flashes in my mind. This scares me into being a good boy. He's also hiding a plasma pistol. If hit in the head or chest, it's instant death. Even a graze would be fatal. Damn. This means he's connected to the Eugen family. Seeing the monster hesitate to act, Arnold knows the monster has seen he's still hiding weapons. When he pulls out the pistol, the others are all shocked. How does he have something so ridiculously expensive? Right now, he's constantly praising me because he thinks my operating style is very much like his teacher's. Then he directly pulls the trigger, but in terms of speed, I still have the advantage. From the current situation, this is the biggest crisis since I was born in the cargo hold, but the final victor will definitely be me. Meanwhile, the laser directly penetrates the control panel and comes at me. This guy is strange, so I activate void hypersenses. His heart rate is very stable. As expected, the previous fear was just an act. He may have analyzed me to some extent, guessing I have some kind of biological radar. I smell a similar hunter scent from him, the scent of an experienced predator. Seeing the laser that brushes past me, I shudder in fear. Fortunately, is the control room. There are many control panels for me to dodge damage. Seeing the alien creature before him darting around, he's very angry, this damn rat. Right now, I activate void hypersensitives and hear his conversation. As expected, he's just buying time, acting like he wants to kill me, but that's just an illusion. He's buying time while protecting the captain and team leaders. This is his plan before soldiers come to catch me. Just then, I noticed the fire extinguisher below. This might provide me great help. So I directly pull the safety pin, spraying powder at his line of sight while interfering with him. I hold the fire extinguisher and look around. Everyone now can only see other silhouettes. Seeing this, he immediately tells others to evacuate from here. I have to say his insight is quite good. But this judgment is wrong. Then I use the voices of devoured people to interfere with several people. When they hear Arnold is dead, they all panic. Because they don't know if it's true or false. The blonde in front, under extreme mental tension, can no longer make judgments. So he shoots directly at a sound source and this shot hits Arnold exactly, making him instantly lose combat ability. This is a good opportunity for me. What I didn't expect is he can still lift his gun again. Seeing the laser scratch my skin, my heart reaches extreme tension. Seeing this, I immediately turn and distance myself. Then a pair of wings grow directly from my back. No one expected I'd make a comeback the next second. In an instant, Arnold loses momentum. The blonde seeing the figure in front thinks it's Arnold. But when he sees clearly, he discovers it's the alien creature. This scares him, unable to move, but strangely, the alien creature doesn't kill him. I don't hesitate and run directly up the ventilation pipe, because my instinct tells me not to stay even 1 second. Then after 2.5 hours of recuperation, my injuries have all healed. The remaining captain is no longer a threat, it's also time to expand my nest. But I'm having trouble choosing the location. First is the cafeteria. After all, eating is crucial for survival. Next is the army where the plasma launcher is located. This is a weapon that can kill me, so I need to deal with it immediately. Then the laboratory, because the laboratory has lots of genetic samples and specimens. As long as I have gene fragments, I can evolve to the pupa stage. So I need to prepare for pirates or other potential enemies. I've decided I'll build my nest in the cafeteria and laboratory. As for the ion launcher, I'll just go steal it back. The reason I'm worried about plasma weapons is because Arnold's words keep bothering me. I don't know what the person behind him does, but he might be with the pirates or might be mixed in among them. Nothing is more terrifying than an enemy of unknown identity. I need to collect information as much as possible. Just then, I hear number 26's voice. It sounds like it's in a good mood today. Could it be because no one came to do experiments today? Thinking about it, they probably can't do experiments in this situation. Everyone is scared hiding in their own rooms. So should I be bolder going out? So I directly expose myself in front of the alarm. Meanwhile, on the other side, when the armed squad rushes back to the laboratory, almost everyone inside is wiped out. Only one researcher living on tube survives. Because he has some immunity to toxins, so he luckily survived. Then the man suggests the captain can surrender to the space pirates. But the captain is very resistant. He doesn't answer and leaves angrily. Right now, the captain knows clearly that after so many team leaders died, he no longer has the ability to fight pirates. An immediate escape is his only choice. Just then, two soldiers discover a different laser gun. So the captain takes it, looking at the ammunition display above. With 60% energy remaining, he thinks it can last a long time. But he doesn't notice the energy device is already damaged. Right now, I wait in the pipe for a full half hour, still no one comes. It seems I don't need to be cautious anymore. So I directly break open the iron grating. It's been a while since I've seen number 26. Looking at its skin color, it looks healthy, but staying here like this, it will starve to death. Should I take it out? The amoeba's characteristic is it's not picky about food and is immune to toxins. So keeping it in the nest or taking it along are both fine. So I ask if it wants to go out with me. Hearing this, number 26 is very happy. It's long wanted to leave this hellish place. Then I tell it to move aside a bit. I accelerate and use my forehead to directly break the glass tank. Just like that, the amoeba finally escapes its cage. After coming out, number 26 thanks me repeatedly. After doing this, I put it aside because I still have serious business to do. Then a large amount of green mucus sprays from my mouth. With my continuous swaying, the mucus instantly spreads throughout the entire laboratory, seeing the dense green mucus. I'm very satisfied the first nest is complete. Then I grab the parasite nearby. After building the nest, I need to replenish my energy. And number 26 is also happily eating food. Just then, I hear footsteps outside the door. Why are these people only coming now? Judging by the footsteps, one is a soldier. The other might be a researcher. For me, they are both food delivered to my door. When the two push open the laboratory door, they are startled by the scene before them. Dense green mucus spreads throughout the room like blood vessels. The soldier knows this is the alien creature's handiwork, so he immediately shoots behind him. But this is futile for me. I end his life with just one strike. Seeing the soldier die horribly, the researcher nearby is scared weak in the knees. Then I grab his head. But suddenly, hear number 26 make an angry sound. It turns out this person also seemed to participate in number 26 experiments. It's angry because the person who tortured it is right in front of it. So I leave him for number 26 to handle. The number 26 directly transforms into a blob of mucus, instantly wrapping around the man's head. It won't be long before his head is dissolved. And right now, I'm eating genes. The next instant a dialogue box appears. It seems gene fragments were extracted. Extractable types exist. Do you want to select application? I just devoured over 500 samples, but only obtained 3 traits. So should I unlock types immediately? Or should I choose direct application? After all, I don't have much time left. I immediately select the confirm button. The next second, the muscles on my back grow a size larger and the leg muscles also become much thicker. While number 26 nearby watches me grow bigger. This makes it feel very envious and at the same time very curious. Then I explain to it, this is like growing from a child to an adult, but it doesn't seem to understand the meaning. It seems it still has a lot to learn. Never mind that, then I carefully examine my body. I feel like I've changed from a leopard to a rhinoceros. Not only has my height increased, my arms and legs are also covered with hard biological armor. And right now, I'm also curious what attribute bonuses I've gained. Then I open the attribute panel, natural recovery, tentacles, contamination organ, natural recovery fuses with powerful vitality to form regeneration. Everything is good. The only disappointment is this psychic type. Although the types of genes I can devour are unlimited, the experience needed to gain new types will double. For example, if I first get void hypersensitive enhancement, then physical enhancements required experience will increase from 10 to 20%. Although it would be easier in games, reality is full of countless dangers. I'll postpone psychic type to the next unlock. Let's first test the new talent. The next instant, a saw-like tentacle emerges from my palm. Then I test its power. The tentacle easily pierces through the stone pillar. After physical enhancement, its power has increased greatly. Next is the contamination organ. With my control, countless dark green smoke emerges from the mucus. These are acidic spores that can corrode enemies' respiratory tracts or skin. I'm very satisfied with this skill. With this ability, can turn the entire ship into a fortress. Now, it's time to go to the next destination. Meanwhile, number 26 jumps onto my shoulder. I want to know what reaction the crew will have when they see me now. Will they cry loudly or rush to escape pods? How exciting. The scene shifts. Right now, there's a group of people desperately fleeing. When they escape into the escape pod, because of fear they even forget to pull down the cabin door, then another man kicks it open with one foot, immediately pulling down the control lever. But all this is too late. After physical enhancement, I easily pry open the iron door. Right now, the people inside are like lambs waiting for slaughter. Although, these scenes are cruel and bloody. For alien creatures, this is commonplace. As blood marks appear on the windows one by one, the spaceship soon returns to tranquility. The only lucky researcher feels strange because he feels the room suddenly becomes quiet. Just then he hears some footsteps. Strangely, it sounds like bare feet. Then he thinks of something, it's that alien creature. Meanwhile, I directly open his cabin door, then hand him over to number 26. Because the first thing he saw was this guy torturing it. Time quickly passes 2.5 hours, so I ask it how it feels to have great revenge. But it doesn't seem to understand what I'm saying, just thinks it tastes good. It seems number 26 doesn't have higher emotions like revenge. Maybe it hasn't learned it yet, or it currently doesn't have the ability to think about these things. Logically, it has no value, but researchers were very interested in it. Could it evolve into a sea demon? Sea demons only live on ocean planets. Like bubble amoebas, they are over 25 meters long. I very much suspect number 26 is related to them. Although in the game, it's just mentioned in passing, who knows if reality has changed. Full number 26 jumps back onto my shoulder. And I also prepare for the next step of the plan. Lambs, your Grim Reaper has arrived. I suddenly hear an explosion sound. Without guessing, I know it's the space pirates coming. However, I've been prepared for the past 2 days, knowing their every move. Right now, they are making a forced landing on the spaceship. The logo on the spaceship confirms they are space pirates without doubt. Meanwhile, as a laser appears on the wall, they quickly open a passage on the ship. Unbeknownst to them, the moment they step onto the spaceship, they already have one foot in the grave. After destroying the hull, they head straight for the control room. From their coordination level, they are very professional. But are they smart or stupid? Any normal person would immediately realize something's wrong with the spaceship, but they are blinded by greed, not feeling any fear of these things. Just as they come inside, they are shocked by the scene before them. The ship's cabin is covered with dense green stems, so several people quickly report to their leader. The ship's cabin looks like it's grown plants, all green stems. Hearing this, the space pirate is very angry. Are you messing with me? Time goes back 2.5 hours. The space pirates just looted a warship, and their creed is to leave no men alive. Take all women and treasure. Right now, the man cooperating with them is very angry because he thinks the space pirates don't keep their word. Hearing this, the space pirate directly calls him an idiot. They are the most untrustworthy people, backstabbing his basic operation. After dealing with the man, the space pirate leader says bring her over. Soon, a very shy-looking girl appears before everyone. It turns out she contacted Arnold through connections about a business deal, but couldn't contact him for the past 2 days. Although the space pirate is angry, he still asks who their captain is. Learning it's the Samuel family, he finds it very suspicious. Also dealing with that Eugen family woman is obviously a trap, because he senses the atmosphere inside Mega Corporation has been strange lately. It seems the Eugen family's leadership position is being challenged. Although their main business is interstellar spaceship development, they also conduct genetic modification behind the scenes. Right now, the space pirate is thinking whether to hand over that woman's remains to the Eugen family. Presumably, they'd be happy to make an exchange. He smells money. Then the space pirate immediately orders to loot that spaceship because this is their territory. When the woman turns around, she shows a different expression. Just as the space pirate hears his subordinate's report, he immediately decides to go himself because he doesn't believe there are plants in space. Looking at the furry lion head, let's call him Lion Dog. Right now, I'm watching their every move. This insect person can secrete pheromones from its body. I didn't expect there's also a biochemical person. Their heart is made mechanically. This pirate's overall genes are good. It seems my evolution conditions are settled. Just then I notice a strange person. Why does this person look so ordinary? It's like that person's head contains a computer performing too perfectly. When things are abnormal, there must be something fishy. I need to pay attention to her. Then I tell number 26 to stay here, and it going won't help anyway. I point to the plasma launcher nearby. You just need to help me watch it. After assigning the task, I turn and leave. Now is the only opportunity when enemies' alertness is lowered. They are very greedy. Presumably, they'll try to protect the research ship and mothership, so they might split into assault and defense teams, and my hunt is about to begin. When I pass through the hatch, all the sensors inside have been destroyed by pirates. They never thought they'd become the ones being robbed. Soon, I reach above the nuclear reactor. Being here isn't far from the control room. There are 2 robots guarding here. Once attacked, they'll notify the central AI system. How can I get past them without being discovered? But before that, let me go eat something first. I know the positions of everyone on the ship, so I found their weakest point, where there's only 1 human and 1 insect person. I'll take them out here. So I launched a direct flanking assault. When the human sensed danger, he could no longer think. The sudden situation left the insect person at a loss. When he came to his senses, he immediately wanted to report the situation. But the next second, he was controlled by my saw blade tentacle. Before he could react, his hand was already on the ground. I heard that insect persons have very hard skin, so I wanted to test my iron head skill to see which was stronger. Unexpectedly, under the amorph's hand, he was like crispy chicken. In just a blink of an eye, I dismantled him. Just as I expected, eating NPC species cannot satisfy evolution conditions. Then I picked up the communicator that fell on the ground and communicated with them using the insect person's identity. After getting a reply, they finally relaxed. After doing all this, I pried open another door, then came to the center of the room. Because here, I could avoid alerting the AI. Under the corrosion of my acidic blood, the ship's core soon appeared before me. If I directly destroyed it, they would surely discover this place quickly. But I could weaken the venom's intensity to let it corrode slowly. Meanwhile, on the other side, when Lion Dog and his crew arrived at the control room, they were shocked by the footage inside. Because they saw that the survivors inside seemed to have gone mad. And there were strange plants everywhere, but no sign of people. He felt this was like a ghost ship. So he had his subordinates continue searching for relevant clues. Soon, they saw a terrifying alien monster in the footage. Lion Dog knew this was a very dangerous creature because it had high intelligence. But this also gave him an opportunity to contact the Eugene family. Then he called the girl over. But the girl was already stunned seeing the scene inside. After a moment, she finally reacted. And Lion Dog also wanted to understand their previous contact plan. Then learned that the day before yesterday should have been their meeting day. Lion Dog thought about it, although he didn't know what this creature was. But since they could come here silently, it meant the monster didn't know about their operation. So he immediately ordered to hunt down that alien creature. Just then, Coxcomb's subordinate brought bad news. The warship's engine seemed to have problems. Upon hearing this, Lion Dog was very angry. Damn rat, I will definitely tear you to pieces. Then Lion Dog called the girl again. You come pilot the warship. Before she could react, Lion Dog had his subordinates drag her to the cockpit. Little did they know their conversation was heard clearly by me. At this moment, I laughed out. He looks very angry. What they don't know is that there are still survivors on this ship, but I know it clearly. But I'm not sparing them out of mercy, but because mega corporations despise space pirates, so there will definitely be a battle between them. And the survivors and pirates are fighting fiercely. I need to make good use of this. Currently, there are 3 pirates and 1 woman pretending to be normal. Although this is my chance to attack, I have a bad feeling. My instinct tells me this woman is dangerous. Could she be the person Arnold mentioned, the monster with various abilities? I want to know what made Arnold say we are similar. She looks like a genetically modified human, but considering she's an ability from a mega corporation, perhaps her genes have already been modified. If she's been modified to a degree comparable to players, even if I evolved to larvae stage, it would be hard to defeat her. Seeing such a powerful opponent, I'm both afraid and excited. After Lion Dog learned of my existence, he wanted to eliminate me because I destroyed the spaceship he was plundering. At this moment, his subordinates were all intimidated by his aura and dared not speak. Meanwhile, Coxcomb Man called out to the leader because his instrument detected human presence and they were hiding in this sealed room. So Lion Dog had them immediately conduct blasting. Then the demolition expert drew a line on the door. After completion, Coxcomb Man kicked the hatch open with 1 foot. Little did he know what greeted him was a 1,000-degree laser. The other pirate seeing this quickly took cover, but Lion Dog directly activated hunting rhythm and charged up. In just a few moves, he took down everyone inside. Only the doctor hiding in the corner remained, just as Lion Dog was about to finish him off. He quickly revealed intelligence. And Lion Dog also wanted to know where their captain was hiding. Then he learned from the doctor that the captain escaped in an escape pod. This left Lion Dog speechless. The only person who knew the corpse's whereabouts was on an escape ship. But soon, he turned his attention to the doctor again. You're a doctor, which means you know where that woman's corpse is, right? And he also knew who the pirate was asking about. So he truthfully described the situation of being eaten by the alien creature. At this time, Lion Dog was very angry. How is that monster's shadow everywhere? Then he directly issued an order, 6 people in a group to search for clues about the monster. Then he turned his attention to the doctor again, because his team happened to be short one doctor. Upon hearing this, the doctor was unwilling, but he knew the consequences of refusing, and I knew their actions clearly. But regrettably, this performance ended faster than I imagined. But with a lion dog mutant inside, perhaps this was expected. It seems he trained these soldiers well. They act like a regular army. And now it's my turn to appear. But just then, number 26 came bouncing along. It acted like a child wanting to help its father. But I thought about it, it indeed should go out and get some experience. Then I put it on my shoulder, as long as I take care of the troublesome ones, the rest can be left for it to practice. At this moment, a squad of soldiers had already arrived outside the door. They were curious what kind of monster could create such dense things. After their demolition expert's investigation, they must use a laser cutter to break through the door. Upon hearing this, a man nearby was very angry and immediately cut off a section of vine, and the mucus inside splashed right on another blonde's face. The blonde was very angry about this. Little did he know he was about to face disaster. Just then, the man noticed his knife was rapidly corroding. In an instant, it melted like ice cream. The blonde nearby also felt his face burning. But before he could react, his whole body instantly melted. Meanwhile, the man heard footsteps from the distance. But all this was too late. I directly pierced through the man with my claws. The few people nearby seeing this quickly pulled their triggers, and their bullets were like tickling to me. I swung out saw blade tentacles and directly took out 2. I left the remaining insect person for number 26. I saw number 26 quickly wrap around his head. Seeing it was safe, felt relieved. Meanwhile, I heard calling voices from nearby. Seems like I missed one guy. Before he could react, I swallowed his head in one bite. And the communicator was still transmitting inquiry voices, because they didn't know what happened. So I mimicked that person's voice again. After getting a reply, the other side cursed because this kind of thing is no joke. Looking at the communicator in front of me, I decided to keep it first, to use it to disrupt the pirate's attention. At this moment, I discovered this cyborg in front of me still had a heartbeat. Could it be because it's a bio-android from the Star Union? The Star Union replaces weak human bodies with machines, so they also impose their beliefs on other species. Regardless of whether others are willing, as long as you're caught by them, they'll forcibly modify you. Megacorporations and the Star Union are more like monsters than I am. Then I took a bite, his body was half machine with a strong copper taste. Then the information window popped up again. I've completed half the conditions needed for the pupa stage. This is really an unexpected surprise. There are 12 cyborg pirates on that ship. If I devour them all, I can immediately evolve to the next stage. Now I should go find the next squad. Space pirates might be a space disaster for others, but to me, they are like nature's gift. When I found another squad, the stone man in front directly fired laser guns at me, and I instantly appeared in front of him. So you're a stone man. Let me see how hard your head is. In no time, everyone was down, even 3 cyborgs were directly melted. Looking at the limbs on the ground, I felt it was quite a pity. Just to be safe, I still decided to take a bite. Maybe I could extract gene fragments. But as I bit down, there were only screws and nothing else. Indeed, one shouldn't be a gambler. If it's not someone I killed, the possibility of triggering predator instinct is very small. So just as number 26 was about to kill the pirate, I directly swung out my tail stinger. This confused number 26, it thought I was too hungry. After learning the reason, number 26 was very supportive of my approach. I feel bad doing this to number 26, but I have no choice. Just then, the man's communicator received a call. So I reported the current position, but unexpectedly, my voice was still that previous man's voice. This immediately made the other side alert. Damn. Almost exposed myself. After my round of bluffing, I barely explained it away. It seems they have strong discipline. I need to quickly deal with that lion dog. And at this moment, Lion Dog had already sensed something was wrong. Because he had military background, so he was extremely strict about reports. Ordinary people wouldn't be so casual with him. His wild instinct told him the other party was lying. So he immediately had everyone head to the laboratory to investigate. He felt something happen to the people there. Then Lion Dog had the doctor take him to the escape pod. He wanted to make a time bomb there because he wanted to detonate the entire spaceship. Although the crew members on the ship would also perish. But to eliminate the monster he hated, all this was worth it. He was originally someone who would do anything to achieve his goals. Meanwhile, he wanted to inquire about the alien creature's weaknesses. When Lion Dog learned it had no weaknesses, he felt incredulous. From the doctor's appearance, he didn't seem to be lying either, which meant the doctor was more afraid of the monster than he was. After a moment of thought, Lion Dog decided to change plans. He must gather everyone together. This made me have to admire his keenness. Only someone like this is qualified to be my opponent. Meanwhile, the pirates who received the message immediately assembled and converged on the laboratory. This time, I'm going to use new skills to attack them. Then I connected the psychic organ with the derivatives on the wall. This is another use of the contamination organ. Hive mechanism. I can use the psychic organ to control these branches. Now these branches cover the entire mothership, and these people are equivalent to being in my stomach. Just then, the pirates sensed something was wrong. When they discovered it, I had already activated paralysis spores. As long as they inhale even a little bit, they can only become lambs for slaughter. In no time, I took down a batch of pirates. Even I didn't expect this skill to be so useful. It's just that at this moment, I feel dizzy. Consuming so much energy at once, I suddenly feel hungry. Now it's time to feed. Scene transition. After I devoured over 10 people, I opened the attribute panel again. So far, I've devoured 8 cyborgs. So I need 2 more to complete the progress. Another 5 people escaped, but what I find strange is why they ran to the training room. So many places they could go, but they went there instead. Could it be for better combat? Because the training room is more spacious than other rooms. But what they didn't expect is that the previous astronauts had the same idea. That place has already become my dining room. At this moment, I can feel through the door their pheromones and breathing. I dare say they'll be very shocked seeing this room. Then I had number 26 wait and hide behind me, because my hunt is about to begin. When I rushed into the room, Lion Dog was already waiting there, and a few people in the command room were watching all this. At this moment, the girl was still trying to control this aircraft carrier. Seeing the leader fighting, the 2 subordinates were getting impatient. The girl explained the ship's principles to them, but these small fries couldn't understand at all and quickly turned to leave. The next instant, the woman's expression changed. Arnold, you did very well. At this moment, she discovered the alien creature was good using smoke to hide itself. But her far side eye could easily see through everything. And she discovered the monster liked eating genes, so she deduced the monster might have awakened some kind of talent skill. Could he be a monster that absorbs genes and evolves? This means he's like me. So she was certain Lion Dog couldn't win against the monster, because Lion Dog had always been under her control. Seeing such an interesting prey, the woman was very excited. Now the pirates were useless to her. So she also planned to stop hiding, compared to being called White Jean by the Eugen family. She preferred others to call her Spiral Witch. On the other side, the moment Lion Dog saw me, he directly launched an attack, mechanical arm swinging straight at my head. Meanwhile, I swung my claws at his abdomen, and his reaction was fast. This made me have to pull back distance. When I wasn't paying attention, Lion Dog threw an electronic pulse at my tail. Electric current instantly covered my whole body, but he was going to be disappointed. After all, I'm not one of those electronic products. Just then, Lion Dog slowly spoke. So you're not a new weapon created by the Space Union. You understand what I mean, right? Hearing this, I was also stunned. Then he lifted his collar. I saw the red button on his neck. Turns out he connected the bomb switch to his heart. If he dies, then the nuclear bomb on the ship will be detonated by him. By then, everyone on the ship will die. The doctor's physical reaction told me he wasn't lying. He seems to cherish his own life very much. He has high intelligence, transcended body and arrogance. Nothing can reduce his will to survive. Then he directly pressed the button, activating strongest form, hunting rhythm form. Instantly a suit of hard biological armor covered his skin. At this moment, I felt the aura released from his body. This made me sense danger. From his appearance, he has climber genes. Due to their hard shells, they are also called rock dragons. Lion Dog's strength and speed were both enhanced. In an instant, he pounced above me. I directly swung out my tail singer, but unexpectedly couldn't break through his defense at all. Then Lion Dog's sandbag-sized fist landed on my skull. At this moment, he was also puzzled. Such a heavy punch actually didn't smash the monster. Taking advantage of this gap, I quickly distanced myself from him. If not from my hard head, I would have died already. I want to know why he mentioned the bomb. This is his purpose, so he wants to play dirty tricks. Then Lion Dog stretched out his hand mockingly. Your attacks are useless. Looking at his body covered in armor, there aren't many places I can aim for. Unless it's plasma weapons, nothing else can penetrate him. As long as I can stab any part of his body, I win. But he seems to know what I'm doing. Every time I swing out poison stingers, he catches them. But my tail isn't the only dangerous part of me. I can release venom from my teeth and nails. If I can break his armor and attack him, I win. Then I pulled out the supersonic blade. Maybe I can launch a sneak attack when he's weak. After all, mutants all have one fatal weakness. That is very poor stamina. The cargo hold is where I first got to know this world. There's no place more suitable for stalling time than there. And Lion Dog quickly followed. His momentum was grand, scaring the cockroaches hiding below to flee frantically. I was also not polite and turned them into skewers. After all, even mosquitoes are meat when small. One bite down fresh and juicy, truly worthy of high-energy protein. Facing Lion Dog in his rage, I had no chance of winning. Although mutants are agile and strong, they also consume energy quickly. This is why he must stop to rest every so often. If I continue to anger him and make him use his energy, then he'll definitely be forced to rest for a while. Now, I only have one choice, and that is to wait. And at this time, Lion Dog was like crazy, frantically destroying containers, while I hid in the shadows secretly observing. But now there's another important matter, that is he has two hearts. And I don't know which side he installed the nuclear bomb switch on. Generally, mutants' hearts are on the left side, so it's very likely he connected the detonator there. However, he's very smart. I can't be sure where it would be placed. Just as I was thinking, Lion Dog discovered my figure. His hammer-like fist smashed the container to pieces with one punch. But trying to catch me is still wishful thinking. After all, this is my home ground. Seeing me disappear from view, Lion Dog could only rage helplessly. And at this moment, he stopped in place for over 10 seconds. He must have reduced his own weaknesses during the enhancement process. Normally, should be motionless by now, but except for his speed, nothing else changed. But it seems he can't completely escape the rest time. But for me, is a rare good opportunity. Meanwhile, Lion Dog also sensed movement behind him. He immediately picked up several floor pieces, then threw them backward. Unfortunately, he noticed. Then I had to change direction. The moment I landed, I burst toward him. And Lion Dog seemed to have already predicted my movement. When I approached him, his fist once again landed on my skull. Little did he know all this was a deliberate flaw I showed, because I wanted to trade injury for kill. Then I directly pulled out the supersonic blade hidden in the shadows and broke open a wound at his joint. When Lion Dog realized he'd fallen into a trap, it was already too late. Instantly, venom flowed through my teeth into his body. Feeling pain, Lion Dog flung me away. Damn bug actually dared to bite me. Meanwhile, Lion Dog sensed something strange about his body, because he found his fist seemed unable to exert strength. In no time, his whole body began to tremble. Even his legs had no strength to support him. Seeing him fall, I immediately rushed up. Although the paralysis effect isn't as effective as on humans, the toxin should have spread by now. And the previously arrogant Lion Dog was now under my foot. Then I directly pried open the armor on his chest, because I must turn off the detonator in his body. And the situation was as I expected. He connected the detonator to the second heart on the right side. When it's hit with force, the countdown begins. He knew if this thing broke, he would die too. It seems this guy hates me to the bone. But for me, dismantling it just takes some time. Should I try the mutant's gene sample afterward? Just then, I heard number 26's voice. This made me feel strange. Didn't I tell it to find a safe place to hide? Turns out it came to tell me there's trouble. Hearing this, I immediately stopped what I was doing. The next instant, a memory suddenly appeared in my mind. It was the scene of number 26 and me being cut in half by some force. This directly scared me into a daze for 2.5 seconds. Coming to my senses, I immediately moved toward number 26's direction, then carried it away. And just as I left, in the next breath, a powerful energy slash landed where I just was. Following that came a woman's footsteps. From my reaction, she knew I had precognitive abilities. So it's her. I had planned to deal with her last, didn't expect she'd come here personally. Meanwhile, I noticed she had a shining blade in her hand, presumably her genes mixed with Gala steel and another advanced organism's genes. Not only that, I sensed she had over 10 different genes on her body. In my current state, I could never defeat her. It seems my entire body is warning me not to face that monster. Damn, I need to step back. At this time, the woman slowly walked to Lion Dog's side, then thrust the blade in her hand directly at his chest, because she didn't want Lion Dog to die so easily. At this moment, I was also nervous to the extreme. Facing an enemy I don't know how many times stronger than me, what should I do? If I attack her now, it would be suicide. The only thing I can do is secretly observe her to gather intelligence. Then I discovered her eyes seemed to be space observer eyes, or eyes with other abilities. Then she called out to me, "You look a lot like me, so I can spare your life, but the prerequisite is you serve me." I finally understand why she's not making a move, because she wants me to be her pet. At this moment, the room was unusually quiet, because I knew she wasn't lying and had no reason to lie. The blade on her wrist is Gala's steel claws, even my hard shell couldn't protect me. Although she only showed this, I know she has many other weapons she could use to kill me. Now, obeying her is my most reasonable choice. Seeing me lower my hands, the woman's lips curved slightly. She saw my choice. Very good. You made the most correct decision. Although I outwardly submitted, she definitely couldn't guess my true thoughts. The reason I'm so fascinated with this clumsy useless character in the game is simple: because of freedom of choice, he can infinitely devour, evolve, and become stronger. And I only have one choice. Wanting me to submit to her is absolutely impossible. Meanwhile, I lowered my head and slowly came before the woman. She was very satisfied with this. And what I needed to do was make her lower her guard. Just as she wanted to reach out and pet me, she suddenly sensed something wrong. But when she reacted, it was already too late. The derivative I cut off spluttered a large amount of venom. The moment she lost vision, I immediately turned and fled. The woman was very angry about this cunning fellow. Is this your real choice? But this made her even more excited. Since you want to play, then I'll let you play to your heart's content. The next instant, several flame slashes directly attacked my position. The unlucky lion dog was caught in the crossfire. I know she might always be able to defeat enemies, but I want to give her a lesson. I want her to know that battle doesn't entirely depend on strength. After a moment, lion dog crawled out from the ruins. It was very angry at this moment because it didn't expect the girl to hide so deeply. As a king, it doesn't accept such things, so it wants to choose revenge. Meanwhile, number 26 noticed my leg was injured, but I had no choice. If I hesitated for 1 second, maybe that guy would catch up. I could only tell number 26 not to worry. This woman's eyes have special abilities. My launching surprise attacks on her should be useless. Even if I hide, she'll find me quickly. Besides eyes, she might have other sensory abilities. At this moment, my time is very tight. Delaying time is of no benefit to me. Now, should realize I'm worried about the bomb. She might think I'll use escape pods to flee. So as long as she blocks the hangar entrance and forces me into a desperate situation, finally wait for me to obediently show myself. This might be her strategy. Then she'll try to conquer me with her overwhelming power. In other words, standard tactics. The strategy she's using is the same as what I used against the pirates. It's like fighting another player. Now I should focus on eliminating the enemy, not the bomb. As for information I don't know, I can only discover it in combat. The current problem is my attack and defense capabilities are far below the enemy's. But if my power increases, suddenly I thought of something forgotten. I saw its figure in the laboratory before. As long as I devour it, I can enhance bodily abilities for a limited time. The technique she uses is called sword dance. That's the superpower she gained from devouring other genes. And I currently can't use this ability because I haven't reached that stage yet. But when I grow to pupa stage, I'll gain that power, then my armor can also withstand her blade. I can also launch ranged attacks. The only downside is it requires massive energy, so I must finish her within a certain time. Then I put number 26 down. Number 26 was puzzled what I was going to do, but I told it to just stay put. If I remember correctly, that thing should be right here. Soon, found its figure. Found you. In the game when I picked it up, only a buff notification would appear. I want to know what reality is like. Then I directly took it out from the medicine storage. This answer I must test personally to give. Seeing this scene, number 26 quickly tried to stop me because it sensed this thing was dangerous. So I told it not to worry, this thing won't kill me. I didn't hesitate, directly swallowing it in one bite. The next instant, I felt a force rush straight to my skull. My entire body felt like it was on fire. While feeling the power increase, my body was enduring tearing pain, and I must grit my teeth and persist. As time passed bit by bit, when I opened my eyes again, I had completed the second stage evolution. At this moment, I felt in very good condition. Then I opened the attribute panel. Although this evolution is temporary, the bonuses should be enough to contend with that woman. Reinforced exoskeleton has upgraded to monster exoskeleton, and the sharp horns on my head can be used to ram or stab enemies. My left hand also has a new bone spike launcher. Its strength is equivalent to a plasma pistol. I can even customize its characteristics. Looking at this, I'm very satisfied because I can launch surprise attacks on enemies unexpectedly. Besides that, there's also a layer of spirit armor. It protects me from mental forces. With this, I no longer fear Gala steel easily cutting through my skin. But I can't be happy too early now, because in the game, this has a time limit. I think in reality, it should also be limited to 5 minutes. Then I sensed the girl's position and quickly found her. What I need to do now is consume a wave of her energy. Then I connected to the derivatives on the ground. 5 minutes isn't very long, so I need to end this battle quickly. Meanwhile, on the other side, the girl was searching for the monster's figure. Just then, she sensed the things above her head were squirming. The next instant, the pod-like objects above sprayed out large amounts of liquid. The sudden situation left her no time to dodge, and the liquid fell directly on her face like rain. This made her very angry, being toyed with by an alien creature repeatedly. She directly blasted a hole in the space mothership. Even I could feel violent shaking here. Meanwhile, I also sensed she was rapidly heading toward me. Then I told number 26 to hold tight, because I still needed to consume a wave of her patience. Then I headed toward the mothership's nuclear reactor. There she couldn't fight with full power, because even the slightest contact or fluctuation would cause an explosion. No matter how many genes it has, with its current abilities, it's impossible to survive a nuclear explosion. Just as I had one more passage to reach the core area, the girl had already appeared before me. I saw her show a kind smile. "Naughty fellow, finally found you." Then 2 blades emerged from her arms. Sensing danger, I quickly threw number 26 to the side. The girl immediately swung out several sword energies. Unable to dodge in time, I could only choose to endure them head-on. After evolution, I indeed became much harder. But it seems I just clearly saw her attack movements. Normally, I wouldn't have been able to see them. Could it be because of my hypersenses? Seeing this scene, the girl was slightly stunned. She didn't expect I would grow so quickly. Taking advantage of this gap, I launched myself directly at her. However, her reaction speed was much faster than I imagined. She directly swung down at my chest. But right now, I could only keep showing flaws to make her lower her guard. At this moment, the girl sensed my speed had increased considerably. But to her, it was still far from enough. This match was like children playing house. Just then, I sensed my opportunity had come. During her recovery time, I smoothly activated my tail to wrap around her, then directly launched the bone spikes I just acquired. Just as the attack was about to hit her, unexpectedly her speed suddenly surged. With just one strike, she broke all attacks. Very good. You've really brought me many surprises. The next instant, a powerful aura erupted from within her body. I sensed this aura was dangerous, so I quickly retreated. But it was still too late. In the blink of an eye, my tail was severed. Damn, this woman is really too hard to deal with. Then she stepped on my severed tail because she knew my strategy of closing distance. You're indeed an interesting toy. I think you should have heard of red mist. Right? Only then did I understand what the red smoke on her body was. Red mist is a predator living on jungle-type planets. Its fur emits threatening pheromones. If she also has red mist illusion skills, then I must defeat her before the drug effect wears off. Panic won't have any effect. I need to stay calm and wait for opportunity. Then I attacked her again. But Spiral, which found this amusing, because to her, it was just the end of one's rope. I decided to use the same move I used against Lion Dog on her, trade injury for kill. After entering attack range, I directly sprayed a stream of strong acid venom at her. Although I took one of her strikes, I achieved the effect I needed. Because to Spiral, which, being toyed with by something she considered a pet, was an utter humiliation. So I took the chance to fire several bone spikes at her. But Spiral, which seemed very flustered. After the red form faded, she still blocked the attacks. Seeing the scene, immediately understood. Although her power is very strong, she has one fatal weakness. It seems she can't use 2 abilities simultaneously. Alright, that's the end of the story. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.